I'm so excited. Well, hi there. Hi from my new apartment or whatever. So today I'm really excited because we're going to be talking about trends of the fashion variety, which is my favorite thing in the world. I've been seeing this trend of course, the 2025 trend predictions, which I know that's it's not a new thing that I'm doing, obviously, but something that I feel like I haven't seen as much is people actually analyzing the spring-summer 2025 fashion shows from Fashion Week, in whatever part of the world. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. I basically sat down and watched at least 50 of the New York Week fashion shows, Paris Week fashion shows. Did I say that right? You all get what I'm saying. So I watched a ton of those videos and I went through and I analyzed them one by one and wrote down the trends that I noticed and what I saw and what I think will come of them when we actually get to that season. So that's why I made it a little bit more specific to be spring and summer 2025 instead of just 2025 in general. I really wanted to focus on what we're going to see in the spring and summer because those are my favorite months to dress, and I hate dressing in winter because it's too many layers and it makes me feel crazy. So we're going to put the glasses on, we're going to lock in, and we're going to analyze trends with me. And it's going to be fun. As usual, this is a cozy video, and I hope that you will be cozy with me. Grab a tea or a matcha or a coffee and be crazy. Be a little cozy freak, if you will. So we're gonna pull my laptop up here. I'm gonna put all the pictures on the screen as we go, so you'll be able to follow along with me. It'll be fun. It's like we're looking at my laptop together as one. Also, something that I really wanted to talk about too in this video is just the idea of slow fashion versus fast fashion and trends that last versus don't last and fads and things like that. It was important for me in this video to analyze Fashion Week videos because it feels more intentional that way. It's not, oh, here's what's trending on TikTok or Instagram, because we know most of the time those are just really short fads that we go through and overconsume. I get it. I do it too. I recently stepped away from TikTok completely. I'm not on it anymore. I don't watch TikTok. And I've been trying to really slim down on the time I'm on Instagram as well. Just because I wanted to see what would happen to my own fashion if I stepped away from social media, because I also realized that I grew up in a time where social media has pretty much always been a thing since I was in elementary school. So for me, it was important to see, well, what does my style look like without social media? Because I realized I'd never done that before. And fashion is such a huge part of my life, and it always has been. Clothing, style, all of that. I love it so much. So I wanted to see, okay, well, let's look at slower things, such as New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, whatever, and step away from social media and stuff that moves extremely quickly and see what happens from there. And I've noticed a huge change in that I'm seeing myself fall into the same looks style-wise, this regular pattern of outfits that I feel like I truly like and isn't necessarily what I think I would like if I was still on, TikTok and Instagram as heavily as I was. So that was just something interesting that I noticed and I wanted to talk about in this video, and maybe it's something that you can just take as a little thought with you to also think about is, what is your style without social media? What do you like? What do you dislike? And I will say, I do still use Pinterest all the time because I'm addicted to Pinterest. But I feel like it's also slower because it doesn't really have that social aspect to it. It's really just digging into the photos and going through them and pinning what you like. Moving forward, I guess, it's just important to think about those things and to challenge yourself as a person, especially if it's something you like, because you never know how you're going to grow if you don't try these things. With that being said, let's get into the spring and summer 2025 fashion trends that I have noticed. And I would like to also say that this is supposed to be a fun video, This is not supposed to be super serious, so don't come at me if I say something left field, because I do not care. So I just like to have fun and look at clothes. So please don't judge. I've divided this video into 8 different main trends that I've noticed. And then at the end, I'll also do what I called a rapid fire round. And that's just the trends that I noticed that maybe weren't as prevalent and didn't seem as regular throughout all the shows, but I still thought it was interesting and I wanted to talk about it. So we'll do that at the end. And first, we'll go through the first trends. Alright, so the first trend that I would like to talk about today is the prevalence of 60s fashion back on the runway. It's so cool and it's so sick, and I've been trying to implement it into my own fashion picks going forward. I just love the 60s, and it's so funny because I always knew that the 60s would come back. It's always a cycle, and we've kind of reached the end of the 2000s era, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this. The 60s is not my thing, like not my groove. I'm good. But the looks that I saw, they killed it. They killed every aspect of the cool parts of the 60s and the colors and the textures and the fabrics, and it's awesome, and I love it so much. One thing, of course, we're going to see a lot of, we know right now, is popular polka dots, of course, so that's very prevalent through a lot of these. But that being said, let's look through some of them. Okay, here's one look I love. Again, with the polka dots, I'm a shoo-in for them. I think they're so cute. Love stripes as well. It is what it is. This outfit is awesome because I love how it incorporates different varieties of polka dots and makes it interesting, along with that ruffled layered detailing, which again was so prevalent in the 60s and 60s fashion. I think this is so dope and fun. I imagine this top as a dress, which I think would be even better. And the leather pants, again, so vintage, so nice. This is just overall a great fit. One thing that I was really excited to talk about was the Celine show this year for spring summer 2025. Again, they killed it. And that's something I'll probably say in a lot in this video, but they did so well. And it's so 60s and so just sweet and dainty. And I think that's what I really love about this trend, is that how I noticed it worn is very just sweet and girly and dainty, and it feels light and it's fun and the colors are light. Similar to this, for example, you just look at it, I feel like, and you think, oh, that's so cute, because of the larger headband, the short bob, the cute sequiny top, all of it. It's just simple and it's fun, and I love that. Another thing I noticed, honestly more than anything, which surprised me, was the prevalence of the pastel colors, which of course go again with the 60s kind of look. You saw a lot of like pastel greens, pastel pinks. For example, this one right here. This outfit is so cool to me. It's awesome, and I love the colorways. I think it looks so nice, and it's a perfect spring color. 60s colors are perfect spring colors. It's so awesome. This was another one I loved because I, for so long, have loved looking at on Pinterest images of like airplane attendants and their outfits from back in the day, because they were so cute and so chic, and they killed it. And that's something that I saw a lot too, is that kind of like airport runway type vibe, which was really cool. So this one, for example, she obviously is kind of dressed in that similar attire. I think the purple is a perfect color. It looks so good, and it matches so well with the kind of like teal blue and orange. This is another perfect example of a perfect outfit to me. They're embracing kind of like that 60s color with the very bright pink, and they're doing the headscarf, which I love it. It's like my favorite look ever. I love headscarves. They're so cute. They will never die to me. They will always be prevalent in fashion. And you kind of see they went with the like satin sleeves as well, and I think that's a big thing of the 60s. One last thing about the 60s that I also noticed was sort of the prevalence of fashion that is remnant. Is that a word? Remnant? Reminiscent. Yeah. One thing I really noticed was fashion and looks that were reminiscent of almost like a 60s nightgown that a woman would wear when she's getting ready for bed, like that kind of look. It's very like sexy and simple and flowy and chic, and Valentino killed that too this season. That is what they did so well, in my opinion. For example, we have this look here. It has the lace and all the pretty detailing, and it just looks so beautiful more than anything. Like, it's just a beautiful look. The next trend that I noticed was kind of the opposite direction. It seemed like when I was watching these shows that most designers either went straight back to the 60s or they wanted to push the 2000s further. And they're kind of going into like the Coachella 2014, like very free, very flowy boho vibes. That's something I noticed. It felt like it was either end of the spectrum either way. So for example, with this look, perfect example, this is from Anne de Meulemeester. This look is from Anne Demul. Oh my god. Anne Jamul. Okay, whatever. This look is from Anne. And she killed this look. This is the perfect idea. Again, like when I see looks like this, I'm like, oh, Coachella, like for sure. Or, oh, Tumblr, for sure. It just has that perfect boho vibe. It's like the era where it's like Tuvlo and Sky Ferriera and all of that like genre of music, that era of music. That's what this reminds me of. And I think that's so cool. I just love this look. And I love how they took something that can be so chewy at times and corny and made it into a very pretty look. To me, this is so gorgeous. I would totally wear this to a music festival or an event or whatever. Here's what I thought was another great example. There was a lot of things that were repetitive between different shows, such as like the lacy white looks and things like that. But this was a good example of something that was a little bit different that still felt very boho to me. For example, you have the waves in the hair. Of course, that's super boho. You have the huge sunglasses that fade. I don't know what specifically that's called, but you all know what I'm talking about. The headpiece even. Again, it's just flowy. There's like a big chunky bag. And this reminds me so much of the 2010s in a perfect sense. Like this is an outfit that you would see worn on Pretty Little Liars, if you understand what I'm saying. Like that is the kind of fashion that we are also seeing on the opposite end of the spectrum on the runway right now. This is another look from Zimmerman that I really, really loved and felt very boho to me. This one's like boho chic, in my opinion. They kind of upped it a little bit, but I wanted to show this one because I love how big all the features are. The huge belt, the huge shorts, the big like over the shoulder top. I think that's so beautiful and it works so well together, especially how they kind of left some space in between the top and the shorts are very low rise. I think it just complements her body very, very well and it looks really nice. I also love the shoes. I think fisherman type shoes are so cute and of course very like later 2000s, but they can be dressed and styled so well still, especially if you do just like white socks with them. I think that's so perfect. I think that's such a good outfit. So we're done with time periods. We've discussed the 60s and the boho prevalence in the runway shows. So now I wanted to talk about colors because I did notice some very prevalent colors and color combinations on the runway for sure. Now there were a lot of these. Obviously colors are colors, so there's only so many. But the two that I most mainly noticed was the prevalence of brown and black together and then blue and yellow, which I thought was really cool and something different. And that definitely went along with the 60s vibe more. Like it was a blue and yellow tone that's reminiscent of the 60s. But I want to talk about brown and black first because personally that is a color combination that I love, but I know it can be kind of controversial in the fashion world, kind of like Blavey, for example. Some people don't like mixing brown and black, but let's look at how they did it in these. So first we have this look from Low. I love this brand so much, so let's get my bias out of the way first of all. But this outfit is so cool and so chic to me. This in and of itself is like a trend on top of a trend, in my opinion, because you can see her wearing kind of like the flowy leather top. And I think it just reminds me a lot of like shawls or whatever that's called that people throw over their shoulders. It's kind of like a chic version of that, in my opinion. And I think that's something that we're going to see heavily come back as well in the future. So that's why I saved this look. But outside of that, the brown and the black is perfect in my opinion. It looks so good and it's so chic and ready to wear. It's just perfect. Here was another look that I saved that also had a lot of black and brown going on in the show. Again, I really love this look. I love how simple it is, but how sweet and cute. Because a lot of times simpler is better. Just a simple outfit, that's really what I've been trying to embrace lately, is more so taking a piece off rather than putting it on. I think that's when the best outfits come out. I also love the lace detailing and the belt cinching the waist and the button up underneath. I think that's very cute, and these are all very like 2000s to me. Okay, of course I had to include this look because, I mean, look at it. It's so awesome. This was a perfect example to me of brown and black because they literally mixed it on the jacket. So this just kind of goes to show how prevalent this is becoming. I think brown and black is so cool. She looks so good and so chic in this outfit. And of course, the matching headscarf. Oh my God, I love it so much. I just think this outfit is amazing and it looks so nice. And I love the tights. I think tights are always going to be relevant and good in fashion because I think you can dress it up or dress it down. The pointy stiletto heels are also perfect. This is just a great chic look. Now, let's show you some looks that I noticed that included a lot of blue and yellow because that's random, but it's fun. So first of all, we have this look, which I think is cool. I think it's really, really sick. I love how they're layering the deep V's. Again, I kind of think that's something that we're going to continue to see coming back more. Obviously, I know that's already back, but I just think with some brands going more of the 2010s and on route, that it will increase in prevalence. Because, you know, that was very 2000s of people to layer tops and have tops showing and that kind of thing. So I think that's another detail that we'll probably see come back to be more mainstream than it already is, which I think is really cool. But on top of that, blue and yellow is such a nice color combo, and I think that they layered these perfectly, especially with adding the white and the black in between. It's like doing color, but not too much color, which is perfect. Okay, of course you guys know I'm going to be obsessed with this fit. I think this outfit is so cute and so perfect. Like I would wear this right as it is. I think it's so cute. The way that they did the flowers, it's definitely very 60s, of course, with the blue and the yellow, and that's what I meant. Like when I see this blue and yellow, a lot of times it was like pastel yellow and pastel blue, so very reminiscent of the 60s. This outfit, it speaks for itself. It is so cute, so awesome. We're seeing that prevalence of yellow again, and the headscarf is amazing, and I hate to say it, but I think the big shades are also going to be in only a matter of time, because I know we're kind of on the slim look right now, but I can see the big shades coming back because that just naturally makes sense. And I saw that so much this season on the runway, like so much, so many huge big frames that look exactly like something that you would see in like your parents' photos or something. Very, very sweet, very cute. And I love how they did the headscarf around the neck and tied in the yellow to both. 10 out of 10 outfit. This is another look that I loved because it's monochrome as well. I think it's just really cool and creative. And I love, love, love Sandy Liang, of course. Everyone does. And I love how they added the details to make it look so girly. For example, the bow on the sleeves. So precious. I love the headscarf, how they did that, a little bandana look. And everything just fits so nicely together. I also love so much when people zip their jackets all the way up. I think that's awesome. Something that I didn't really ever pay attention to until I started dating my partner, but it's something that he really likes. So after I saw him love it so much, I was like, wait, you're kind of onto something. So now it's something I always pay attention to in outfits. I think outfits look so much more chic if whatever layer is on top is fully zipped up. Okay, so I kind of already touched on this, but the next trend that I wanted to talk about was headwear, because we see so much headwear on the runway and it's kind of awesome. I am a huge headwear person. I think it's the perfect accessory. It adds exactly the touch you need to every outfit, whether it's a hat or a headscarf, a ball cap, whatever. Just put it on and keep it on because it's here to stay. So I noticed this a ton in the Anne de Mule Meester show, of course, because her looks are as beautiful as they are. Lots of head wraps and head scarves, especially flowy ones that flow into the face or hair or eyes or whatever. That is something I noticed a ton of, especially with those later kind of like late 2010s boho looks. That was huge. Something that I also noticed a lot of about headwear and these trends was that most of the time they exactly match the outfit. For example, with this look, the polka dots flow into the outfit, of course. And I think that's so cool to be able to do those simple matchy fits that everyone can pull off. I love that. And I love how the bag matches, the shorts, the shoes, it's all perfect. And I also love how the headscarf quite literally goes into the jacket. I think that's a really, really cool look and something that I've been trying to experiment more with, because usually I will just keep, whenever I wear a headscarf, I'll keep it like to the front or to the back and just have it wrapped. But playing into it and putting it inside your coat or your jacket or your shirt or whatever is also so sick. So that's something that I'm really hoping to implement more this season. Okay, last look that I'll talk about is, of course, the Valentino fit. Amazing and beautiful. Again, going back to like the 60s, a beautiful woman in a beautiful nightgown, getting ready for bed at her vanity. That's what I think when I see this outfit. But again, I love how they did the head wrap. I think that just adds a little extra something special. It looks so sweet and so cute, and it's just like the perfect top off to make such a fancy outfit look wearable. Honestly, I think that it just kind of like takes it down a notch, not in a bad way, but just makes it a little more casual and wearable and easy and more approachable to put on, if that even makes sense. So of course, you know that I'm going to talk about polka dots in this video. Polka dots are back. They've been back, probably be back for a while. Personally, I think it's kind of like the resurgence of camo. I think we're going to see it really similarly with polka dots. I think people are going to really wear it consistently for a really long time, and then it's just going to kind of randomly fade out, because camo is still obviously prevalent and it always will be, but the trend of it I think has died out some. Personally, that's kind of what I see happening with polka dots, but what do I know? I still love them anyway. So here we see this beautiful look, very reminiscent of the 60s too, in my opinion, color-wise. The huge bow, the layers, the ruffling. It's a beautiful dress, and you can see her with her polka dot bag, which I think is so cute and so fun. And I think that's what I really like about polka dots, is when it can be incorporated into an outfit in a more casual and like fun way, instead of something that's like, boom, there you go, polka dots. I kind of like when it's more subtle. I think that's cool. Okay, this was a look that I really wanted to talk about because I think it's really sick how they did this. This is another look that I really wanted to talk about because I think it's so sick how they did this. It almost comes across as like ironic or just like a play on words, but like a play on an outfit, because they just added the polka dots to the body. So I think, again, it just kind of is like a statement on how big polka dots are right now and how prevalent they are in fashion. And I just really love that this is how they chose to show it. I think it's so cool and so awesome. Again, very much so a 60s vibe. You have the very straight tailored shoulder pad suit, the like satin. Here you have the large bow, right? It's so sick. Of course, it's all polka dots and it's brown and black. See how it writes itself? It really does. I love this outfit. I think it's so cool. I also love the gloves. That's something that I keep wanting to get into, but I keep forgetting. But that is something I really want to wear more, is like lacy hand gloves. I think that's so cute. The last large trend that I noticed the most is the prevalence of either spikes or tassels in outfits. And this was kind of the one-off one that I almost didn't expect or didn't see or wasn't immediately like, oh yeah, that makes sense. This was something I kind of had to like dig into a little bit before I realized, oh damn, this really is showing in all of the shows. So a lot of the spikes, for lack of a better word, that I noticed were always in the headpieces. For example, this show did that so many times, and it was always women wearing dresses like this with tassels at the bottom and then the headpiece with spikes. I think it looks really cool and it's sick and it's something different. It's very dynamic, and the colorways, again, kind of remind me of the 60s, just very out there and vibrant, and I think this is a cool look. This was another outfit that I love from Sony. Beautifully done. This dress is beautiful. To me, this is a perfect dress, perfectly placed tassels. I love how it fits the patterns. Like you see the sun, that's where the tassels are coming from. Like it's very specifically done, and I love how there's more towards the bottom, and it also kind of goes inward shape wise and dress wise. It's just beautiful. It's chic, it's dainty. I would totally wear this on like a fancy rich vacation, because that's the vibe that it gives me. It's like fancy rich hotel, mom. Hopefully you see that just as much as I do. The last outfit that I wanted to show was something that I also noticed with the kind of spikes and tassels, is that it was shown a lot in accessories. And this fit, I think, perfectly shows that. It's just like a little added detail to the earrings, which is nice. Okay, ladies, we have made it to our rapid fire round. So now we're going to very quickly go over a few trends that I noticed that either were kind of on the smaller end of being prevalent, or it's just something that I feel like is always prevalent in fashion and kind of always will be a thing. So I was like, it's not really worth talking about, but I did want to show it. So the first trend is, of course, Asymetrics. Like I said, I think this is a perfect example of something that we're always going to see in shows like this. I don't think that's ever going to go away, and it's kind of how designers a lot of the time make their outfits look out of the box. But I think it just goes really well with this trend that we're seeing recently of like elevated basics and people buying things that's like a black top, but it's just cinched differently, or the bottom is asymmetrical. I think that's a really easy way to kind of elevate your look and make it look a little bit nicer and a little bit more like eccentric and cool. I love how Victoria Beckham did this look. I think it's so perfect. I love how they also added kind of like the neck scarf detailing, again showing the prevalence of that. But I think this has been most beautifully done on dresses like this, and this was something that I saw so much on the runway. Again, something that has been relevant for a while now, but I still wanted to talk about it, was the prevalence of the whole underwear look, whatever you really would call that. Personally, I will not be doing this. I do not love myself enough, but I think it's really cool for people who want to rock it and can pull it off. I think this look is amazing and it's so sick. And I also specifically love the color of the cardigan in this look. I think it's such a good contrast against the darker muted tones on the bottom half. So I think that's really cool. And here we go, another perfect example from Miu Miu of this look, again with the underwear. It's got the blue color. It's perfect. The large shades, we've got brown. Again, just kind of a compilation of all the trends that I noticed. And last, something that kind of weirdly enough I noticed a ton this season on the runway was this sort of like wide-legged look with jeans, but in a way that we haven't really seen before. So it kind of makes this almost like fake accentuative curve. That's what I noticed as far as this trend goes, that it's just like really over dramatic curves, if that makes sense. So like this look, for example, perfect example, we're seeing the polka dots, the brown, the jeans, very 2000s for me, and then they kind of take that hip and go way wider. Or even with this one, you see beautiful outfit, beautiful look, and then the sleeves are just super blown up, way out of proportion. That's something that I just continue to notice amongst the runway. Hello, okay, friends. I think we did it. That was literally everything that I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you had fun, and I hope maybe this gave you like a little bit of inspiration or something moving forward. And out of all of this, my best advice is just to go thrift it. You can find all of these things at your local Goodwill. or whatever thrift shop you love the most. So I highly recommend it. And since I've done some shopping since I've planned this video, because I actually planned this out many months ago and wrote all of it out, I've acquired a lot of pieces that seem very relevant to everything I just discussed. And I think that's the best part. It's out there, you just gotta find it, and I promise you, you don't have to pay full price for it. But anyways, with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this week's video and got something from it. As always, I'll be back soon with a new video, most likely Thursday, if possibly not sooner than that. So I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you had a lovely, cozy time with me this evening. Bye!